Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Pokémon Ruby Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we made our way through Route 120 and Route 121, where we ended up encountering both the Safari Zone and Team Magma Grunts on their way to Mount Pyre. Making quick work of things, we followed the Team Magma Grunts and went into the graveyard of Mount Pyre, catching a few ghost Pokemon along our way, and ultimately chased them to the summit, where we found their leader Maxie accosting the guardians of the two colored orbs, the Red Orb and Blue Orb of Mount Pyre, who warned us of cataclysmic things happening if the orbs are separated. Thus, we were charged with the Red Orb to take and follow after Maxie and hopefully get back the Blue Orb that he took. We don't know exactly why yet, but we'll be finding out now. However, before that, I want to quickly go over Force, because last episode he also evolved, and I figure we haven't really seen how much he has grown since the previous time, so it honestly looks rather good. Granted, his impish nature is holding back his special attack, but he's about as good as I could hope for. Anyway, from what Maxie said at the summit of Mount Pyre, we know that he and his crew are heading off to Slateport City, so let's just fly over there real quick and see what's going on. If I had to guess, it has to do with Captain Stern, and what would you know? He's here at the harbor being interviewed by Gabby and Ty. I see. You've had a most invaluable experience. What do you have to say, Ty? Okay, Captain Stern, a big smile for the camera. Alright, well, let's just get this over with and get Captain Stern's attention. Yes, indeed. We intend to move ahead with our exploration. That's wonderful, Captain Stern. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to talk to us. We hope we can interview you again with news of more discoveries. Ooh. That was my first time being filmed for TV. That was nerve-wracking. Yeah, I can kind of get that, Stern. While it isn't quite the same thing, my first time recording this, I was so very nervous and honestly stumbled over my words a bit more than I do nowadays. Still do, but not nearly as bad as in my first few episodes. Oh, Seipher, you're looking great. We made a huge discovery on our last seafloor exploration. We found an underwater cavern on Route 128. We think it's the habitat of a Pokemon that's said to have been long extinct. Foo. Captain Stern, I presume. We of Team Magma will assume control of your submarine. Your objections are meaningless. We expect your total cooperation. Foo. Just watch and learn what Team Magma has planned. Oh boy, it seems we were too late in catching up to him. What was that all about? It sounded like someone using a megaphone. Where did it come from? It's from the harbor. The submarine. They're trying to take it. Seipher, please, come with me. Alright, well, it would seem that we are too late. Fwahaha! I commiserate with you. All the effort you spent following me here all the way from Mount Pyre. But now, no one can stop us. No one! Or will you follow us back to our hideout in Lilycove City? Fwahaha! You know, you didn't have to tell me that. Why? Why would Team Magma steal my Submarine Explorer 1? They can't be after the slumbering Pokemon at the bottom of the sea. But even if I were to chase them, I don't stand a chance against them. You may not stand a chance, but we'll definitely have to. And seeing as they told us where they're heading, we know exactly where to go. However, before we do that, we're going to have to check out a few things and maybe be prepared, because there is a shop in Lilycove City, but we can't quite access it yet because of one thing that I know all too well from my childhood. Although we see this magma grunt right here. Hey you! Don't go near the cave in the cove. Why? You don't need a reason why. I'm an adult, so just listen to me. Yeah, well, thanks for pointing out where your hideout is. Anyway, as we can see here, this is the Lilycove department store. Just like the department stores in Goldenrod City in Johto and the Celadon department store in Celadon City in Kanto. This is going to be the place where we can get a bunch of good stuff, but the door is currently being blocked by our rival May, so let's just talk to her and get this over with. Oh hey, Seipher, are you shopping too? I bought a whole bunch of dolls and posters. Of course, I've also caught a lot of Pokemon and I'm raising them properly too. Actually, I'm more worried if you're raising Pokemon properly, Seipher. I'll battle with you so you can show me your Pokemon, Seipher. I'm actually gonna make sure because I... Oh, why? Seipher, haven't you been raising your Pokemon? That's not a very good showing as a trainer. Okay, well, that's disappointing. I just wanted to make sure that I actually remembered to heal up between episodes. Yeah, we're fully healed, so we should be fine. Anyway, come on, battle with me so I can check out your Pokemon. Sure, let's get this over with. The Pokemon I raised won't be beaten by your Pokemon, Seipher. That would be fair to say if you have actually won or defeated any of my Pokemon in our previous battles, but I don't think you're gonna have any luck there. Although you do have a better taste in Pokemon now, seeing as you're starting with a Swellow, but I thankfully have Urbosa, and she's 6 levels above your Swellow. Okay, that was easy. Going for your Combuskin, eh? Well, Thunderbolt should be able to deal with this too. Although that quick attack was... I'm a little surprised. I didn't think Combuskin could learn quick attack. Oh well. Let's just use our own quick attack to finish it off. So yeah, in her... In this battle, I mean, it hasn't been that long, but even I've been able to get my starter up to its final stage and you haven't, so you're really struggling. Then again, it seems like you're not really the battling kind of rival. Which, I'll give you, you don't have to be... Not all games have to have a battling kind of rival, it's just a bit odd, considering you're the rival that we were introduced to. And just because I'm going to actually swap Lombardi in, see what this Shroomish does. And you are a fool, triggering Poison Powder. Well, you're gonna go down real easy. Now, one wing attack ought to do ya. Granted, I could overkill you pretty good with Facade, but might as well use your weakness. And just like that, May is defeated. I remember the battle I had with you, Seipher, on Route 103. That battle helped you become this strong, Seipher, didn't it? Obtain 2040 for winning. I'm thinking of going back to Little Root soon. I caught a decent group of Pokemon, and my Pokedex is coming along, so I'm going home to show my dad. Seipher, what are you going to do? Collect all the gym badges and take the Pokemon League challenge? Well, while you're collecting badges, Seipher, I'm going to work on my Pokedex. I'll complete it before you. See you. Well, that is the swan song for May, unfortunately. And let's just quickly run back to the Pokemon Center. I could use Petra Berries to cure that poison, but might as well just get everybody restored up back to full health. Alright, well, now that we've gotten her out of the way, we can go in here to the department store. First floor is going to have the directory and a lottery corner. This is really only all that good if you trade a bunch of Pokemon, because the lottery ticket is randomly generated based on your trainer ID, and every Pokemon that you have... you know what, I'll just show... You're not very likely to win without trading, at least I don't think. because every Pokemon's ID numbers are going to be connected to yours, connected to your trainer. So it's going to basically it's basically helpful to trade with others to get different numbers. That way you can possibly link up, because it checks across your team and your box, I believe. This first floor is basically your general mart. It's going to have potions, repels, some useless mail, Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, escape ropes, basically every healing item under the sun that you could possibly want. This third floor, I believe, yep, just has a bunch of X items, so definitely not going to be of use to me since I can't use X items according to my rules. Vitamins to help you raise your Pokemon's AVs, although they are very expensive. And the fourth floor, which is the last floor that I'm going to be going through, is TMs, Technical Machines. I believe this is Protect, I believe this is Safeguard, Reflect, and Light Screen. These two are rather useful for longer battles, but I'm not going to be worrying about it. All those are defensive moves, and then on this counter we have offensive moves: Fire Blast, Thunder, Blizzard, and Hyper Beam. All very powerful, but also inaccurate, so I wouldn't really rely on them unless you intend to use weather strats for Thunder. Well, I guess I can't really say Blizzard in this case, because Blizzard wasn't made perfectly accurate in Hail until Gen 4. So let's just go on down. This place has an elevator, but it's a lot faster than just using the stairs. Anyway, with that covered, I'm now going to point out, I believe, this house, the Move Deleter's house. You go in here, talk to the guy inside. He'll erase any move, even HMs for you, so you definitely want to keep him in mind, especially for later. As we can see, there are a lot of magma grunts around, and we could just leave off and sail out of here by going this way, but the route is currently being blocked off by this magma grunt and these Whalmer. There, Whalmer, leap out of the water now. Huh? What do you want? You're messing up our training, so can you, get lost? It really doesn't make much sense for Team Magma to have Whalmer. This is definitely, clearly more suited for Team Aqua, and hey, a PP up. I knew one of these rocks had a item that I would want, but I didn't remember exactly what it was, so that's good. Anyway, as we can clearly see, this cave here, so let's just surf on into the Magma hideout. And we'll just make our way as quickly as we can. And time for my least favorite gimmick in all of Pokemon, these teleporting puzzles. I can never remember the paths here, but we'll do our best. Max Elixir, that's a pretty good find. Definitely going to want to hold on to that. Let's go into this one and just see if we can make our way through here as quickly as we can. And I think I'll swap Forest to the front. We don't really use Forest very much. Warp panels, the hideout's pride and joy. You're clueless about where you are, aren't you? Cluster and tire out the enemy, then lower the boom. That's our plan. Well, hopefully you have stronger Pokemon, because I'm pretty leveled up, I'd say. Granted, Forest probably isn't the best lead here when you're using Zubats, so let's just use Pursuit, see how much that does, and then if... yeah, it's not doing much. And that's a bit too much damage for one attack, so Forest probably isn't the best lead. At least in here. If this was Team Aqua and she was using their respective Pokemon, their Carvana and Sharpedo, then he would be a good match, but clearly not. So let's just have Shogo take lead. Okay. We'll just bypass this spinner, go onto this warp pad. Bypass that. Grunt. I know I'm skipping a lot of fights, but I really would rather just grind off screen if I had to do this sort of thing. Get a new item here, a nest ball. Kind of worthless, but I'll take it, I suppose. Let's see here. And I know that guy's right there, but Oop. Okay, well, I forgot that panel just takes us back. There is one thing that I would want to point out in here. And I need to... You know what, I guess I'll just... Yeah, it's that room up there. If we can find a way there, you definitely want to do it. And I shouldn't have stopped there. Yawn. Keeping watch over the hideout bores me. I'll take you on. Alright, well. Eventually we'll want to come back to this room and take that teleport pad because that guard we saw by the water is definitely someone we're going to want to deal with. But for now, we'll just have Shogo get to work on this grunt, and we'll hopefully find our way through here. It's not that big of a place, but it can get a little confusing going back around through these teleporters if you don't remember the path through them. Which it's been a while since I've done this portion. Granted, that's not really a surprise, seeing as the last time I played this game was my first Nuzlocke run a few years ago, and I didn't make it this far. Okay, Darude hit level 38. Ugh. Oh, I lost. Okay, well. Let's take this teleport pad. And then this one. And, this is the one I remember. These teleport pads are gonna basically send you every which way. It's a little confusing at first, but I think following this path... Yeah, it's a little confusing. Okay, right. And let's do this one. Okay. Now in here there are two items we want to grab. And unfortunately that wasn't one of them. Thankfully I think I've got someone fast enough because these are electrode. Although I suppose I could catch this thing since I haven't technically caught an electrode before. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to switch in Stussy, because these things can explode. And I should have just run. Okay. That's my bad. Let's just heal up Stussy real quick, because I don't want her to be all injured like that if we're going to be using her. Let's just have Stussy come in, because I believe that did less than half. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was less than half. So if we fail here at catching the other one, we can just... Yep, I should have figured. If we fail here at catching this one, because I obviously can't risk trying to paralyze it with Herbosa. If it explodes, it will probably kill Herbosa, so let's just do our best by throwing an Ultra Ball at it. Okay, well that was a bit unexpected, but I'm grateful. You usually don't catch anything in here, so that's good. Well, you're likely never going to see the light of day again, but what to call you? You know what? Don't really care much about your name, I'll just call you Demo. Alright, so we found a nugget here, which is a lot of money, and the Master Ball. Will catch any Pokemon without fail, so you definitely want to make sure to grab this. I, however, do not really care that much, so let's just get up back here and go back through these teleporters. We'll take this one. Ignore that grunt. Carefully dodge that one. Didn't mean to get into any altercation with that one. And, you know, we'll have Stussy just take care of this guy. Got here already, did you? We underestimated you. But this is it. I'm a cut above the grunts you've seen so far. I'm not stalling for time. I'm going to pulverize you. You say that, but you're probably not all that much different. Oh, it's you, Courtney. I couldn't tell because your sprite doesn't look any different from the other magma grunts. In any case, last time I faced you, you went down rather easily, so let's just see how long you manage to last now. Granted, you have beefed up your levels somewhat, but you're probably gonna go down easily to Stussy. Okay, somewhat decent approach, having Intimidate to lower my attack, but I can just surf you away. And a camera up, so easily dealt with Surf. Yeah, Team Magma is definitely the easier of the two to deal with. You're pretty much guaranteed to get a water type throughout any Pokemon region, and Surf is always given to you at some point, at least in this generation and the older generations. So it's a lot easier to deal with them than, say, Aqua, but Aqua also has some rather easy means to deal with water types. So I lost too. While I was toying with you, our boss got through with his preparations. And it would seem that we were too late. Our boss has already gone on his way to some cave under the sea. If you're going to give chase, you'd better search the big wide sea beyond Lilycove. But will you find it then? Well, it would seem that we've been played. With no means of getting under the water right now, we're gonna have to just see what we can do about finding a means to travel underwater so that we can hopefully give chase, but for now we'll just have to get out of here. And knowing my luck, they probably moved their little operation of training Whalmer, which only really makes sense for Team Aqua. Also, I did a little digging into the Sea Incense item that I had picked up in the last episode. It's actually a worse Mystic Water. The Sea Incense only increases the power of water type moves by 5% in this generation. The Mystic Water increases by 10%, so it isn't all that great. However, I believe it does have a purpose in actually enabling you to breed Meryl. I think that's the one it is. But that's no point to me because I have a clause that says that I can't breed any Pokemon and I don't have a Meryl to create an Azurill with, so no real biggie. Anyway, I want to point out this guy's house here. While we can't make much use of it, if you will want to come back here once we have a means to get underwater, so just keep it in mind, east of Lilycove, and we're going to just press on here to Moss Deep City, the location of our next gym badge. However, I just want to quickly go in here and get us healed up. Because with the time that I have left right now, because we are a bit far into this, 25 minutes about, we're just going to quickly take care of two things. One of these houses has a certain someone I want to talk to, not you. Maybe it's this one. No. Is it this one? Oh, well, this isn't what I intended, but okay. Seipher? Yes, this is my place. It's a little embarrassing how empty it is here. Oh, here, you should take this HM. It contains dive. I've already taught my Pokemon. Obtain the HM08. As he said, that contains dive. That is our means to get underwater. While you're using surf, you should notice dark patches of water. Use dive if you come to deep water like it. You'll drop to the seafloor. When you want to come back up, use dive again. In some places, it won't be possible for you to surface, though. What he doesn't tell us is that we need the gym badge in this city to be able to use dive, but that's not a issue here. Anyway, gotta get back to trying to find that one house that I'm looking for. It's not that house that's right there, so maybe it's off over this way. Ah, here we are. This guy. Hey there, trainer. A super rod really is super. Say all you want, but this baby can catch Pokemon off the seafloor. What do you think? You want it, don't you? You want to say yes to this because? You bet you bet. After all, a super rod is really super. Obtain the super rod. We have finally upgraded our fishing rod to the maximum level. If there's any water, try dropping in your rod and see what bites. Alright, well, with that, we now have the strongest fishing rod and we can reel up some really powerful things. I'll probably save that for a bit later, but before we end things off, we're just going to go into this mart here and we're going to sell off the sea incense because it's there's mystic water and I have a mystic water and it's worth a good deal of money. I'm not going to sell the lax incense. I will probably sell the Carbos. I don't foresee myself needing it, and I can always easily train up with the Macho Brace now that I have that. Not going to sell the Max Elixir or PP Up. Those two nuggets, though, can definitely go. And let's just quickly see what this place has to offer. Net balls. These are definitely going to be rather useful. They help catch bug and water Pokemon much more easily, and with that improved fishing rod, it will definitely be a boon. So let's just get, I'd say 10 of these. I know that we have Stussy, but you never know. And we also have dive balls, which I picked one up back on the abandoned ship in Route 108. These basically work much better underwater, but are like a regular Pokeball above water. Not as useful in my opinion, since you need a Pokemon with dive to be able to use it effectively, so I'm not going to worry much about it. Because if you can dive, you generally have something that can you generally have a water Pokemon if you can use dive in the first place, so I'm not going to worry about it. However, before we end things off, I'm going to quickly use another Super Repel. And we're going to head north of Moss Deep. Let's get off this shallow island. We're going to avoid that double battle, even though in Ruby and Sapphire you don't trigger double battles if you go right up to them. If this were Emerald, though, you would. Anyway, we're going to go in here to the Shoal Cave. And it would seem that we're here at high tide. And if we talk to this guy, are you planning on going deep in there? How about bringing me back some shoal salt and shoal shells? Tongue twister. I can make you something good if you bring me the ingredients. Alright, well, this place is definitely something we're going to want to check out. And you know what? I've got a little more time, so let's just go over here because there is a new Pokemon that I want to capture. So let's swap Stussy out of the lead. Let's swap Urbosa to the front. And we're just going to look around for a new team member in here. Because there is exactly 3 Pokemon available in this first room, and 1 Pokemon available much further down when the tide is low. And you're not it. So let's get to looking. And here you are. A level 32 Spiel. Practically ready to evolve. So that's good. Let's just use Thunder Wave on you. And it'll be nice to see. And you have a decent move in Aurora Beam, so that's good. Although I will probably just go to the Mauville Game Corner and train to get you Ice Beam. Let's just throw an... You know what? Let's throw one of those net balls that we just got. Should work like a charm even at this high HP. Excellent. Alright. Well, I have just the name for you. And I might consider adding you to the team in place of Stussy. At least temporarily. But with that capture done, I do want to end things off. But before I do, I will say the tides in this area change every 6 hours, I believe. And they only change while you're outside the cave. Once you're inside, the time will stop and you will be stuck in whatever tide situation you are currently in. So keep that in mind. I believe there are 4 shoal salts and 4 shoal shells around this place. At high tide, I believe the shells are accessible, and at low tide, the salts are accessible. You need to bring all 4 of each back to that guy. He will give you a shell bell in return, which is a rather useful item. I will not be doing this on screen because it's kind of a pain to try and time this to have high tide and low tide. However, I will also say that you definitely want to come in here at low tide and bring an escape rope with you. Make it down to the bottom floor of this because there is a very useful item, the Never Melt Ice, basically a 10% boost to your ice type moves down at the very bottom in a particular room. You'll know it when you see it. Anyway, with all that covered, I believe I'm going to end things off here. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.